It's a conspiracy, you know. I reckon the UK was just waiting for the arrival of the European Tour back on British soil before launching the summer. Either that or they've declared a general election. But anyway, welcome to the Belfry round 3 of the B&H International Open, a Saturday afternoon, and it is absolutely gorgeous. We've got some 3 hours of top-class action to come, a fascinating scenario as ever at the top of a very crowded leaderboard. And as usual, it seems at the Benson Hedges, a big story. Last year was Padraig Harrington disqualified when leading by 5 on the eve of the final round. Today it's bad news for Sam Torrance there with his father Bob on the range, and the problem is a rib injury that makes it too painful, and sadly Sam Torrance, who was lying joint third, has had to pull out of the Benson Hedges. Overnight leader Henrik Stenson by 3 shots, and a rather ragged start for the young Swede, not wholly unpredictable I have to say, only hitting 1 green in regulation and slipping back, and others have caught him. And it's all getting very interesting with 1 or 2 of the big names a little further down the field coming towards the end of their rounds, such as Colin Montgomery, Jose Maria Olazabal. But they're out on the course on the closing stages, 4 under, and are now only 4 behind the 3 leaders. David Howell has played very well today. Bird is at 6 and 7 to go with the one at third. Jared Moseley, who led the French Open after round 1 last week, also at 8 under. Ola Carlson coming through. A round of the day so far from Eduardo Romero at 66 to tie the course record. No surprise to see the likes of Angel Cabrera and Aaron Baddeley up there going well. Russell Clayton, we told you about Montgomery and Olazabal. And of course Devon Botas, who was due to play with Sam Torrance, opted not to wait for a marker, and he's out there playing on his own. Obviously somebody's marking his car, but that's very slow, very difficult for him to cope. And my favourite South African is alongside me, and Hutchie, I mean, you're firm-minded as a pro, single-minded, but that's going to be a tough scenario for Devon.
It's going to be very difficult. He's obviously going to finish holes a lot quicker than he would with a partner, and he'll be waiting a lot of the afternoon. But he's a very quiet, patient sort of a fellow, and I just hope that he copes. And I can understand him not wanting to wait, let another group go through while they try to find a marker for him. And I think for himself, he probably did the right thing.
79 players going through the cut, which came at +1. 78, of course, with the withdrawal of Sam Torrance. This is the final 2 ball. Nice to see them playing all off the 1 tee and in 2s. Don't get that so often. Stenson into the 6th hole.
Yeah, this is a good little par 4. Not a long one, 395 yards, water all the way down the left, and great shot from Stenson. He needs to just pick up a birdie or something, steady the ship, as they got away to a very awkward start, dropping shots at the 1st and 4th holes.
Isn't it strange that the 2 previous rounds he's bogeyed the 6th hole on both occasions? In fact, it's been a rather ragged stretch for him. His only other shots he dropped, there's 1 or 2, 1 at 5, 1 at 7, but he may turn that around.
It was a little unfortunate this afternoon. Both got a bit of a kick left and finished in the rocks just short of the water. But both these players hit irons off the tee, and this is Thomas Bjorn. 7-iron shot for him. Wind a little from the right. Also very nice shot.
Thomas won over today, hit it into a ditch right at the 4th, and actually put the waterproofs on. It took quite a while to play out onto or just through the fairway, and did well to get away with the 1 drop shot, the 5 in the end. But it really is gorgeous. Temperatures in the mid-20s. Quite good crowds here. Perhaps not as big as it would be most Saturdays. There's a little football match going on just down the road in Cardiff. But if you come to watch the golf, it is magnificent English countryside at its best. Motorways not far away, aeroplanes overhead. Just to listen carefully to the speed of the birds.
There's one of our joint leaders in trouble at the 8th hole, David Howell. Having just chipped back to the fairway. So also a very dangerous par 4 and a long one at 428 yards.
This is the 18th, Colin Montgomery from the back from a drop zone, which I would suspect means he's gone close to one of the stands and got a free drop. If Monty can pop that in for a 4, and will be a round of 70 here, we'll have 4 under going into tomorrow's final round.
Steady Paul McGinley is 2nd into the 8th. Oh, nice shots there. I'm actually surprised, Bids, just thinking about it. They could easily have made the final group a 3-ball, today and just let Devon slip back to that, but then I don't know whether maybe he didn't want to do that either.
Now second into the 8th. 2 tough holes in the row, 8 and 9.
So that's his third shot, Benson. He just missed the fairway and had to chip it back out from the trees on the right.
Lamont has been bemoaning his putting most of the year. Nice to see him finish on a high by making this one.
Again, that's to be said, that looks a little tentative. Slightly uphill, disappointing this though. 5-5, 4-4. We've done him a power of good.
Coming through 1 or 2 of the early rounds. Paul Casey, the young Englishman, recently turned professional here on an invite at 71. Home in 31 to show what's possible. Darren Clark is 68. Darren slipping yesterday with a 76. Not wholly out of this, but he would have to go very low tomorrow. The big numbers await the unwary. We're taking a look at Gary Emerson. No problems at the turn, but a 9 at the 10th, where you'll see in a short while they brought the tee forward to bring the green within range for those who want to take it on. A 9 there, prelude to a homeward half of 46.
Hardly seems possible. He's a far better player than that. But birdie chance here for Thomas Bjorn on the 6th green. The green's pretty quick. Tend to get a little on the bumpy side late in the afternoon.
You look down at those greens and you look at the sky around, you think, well, this is marvellous. You tend to forget that 2-3 weeks ago this course was pretty well underwater. They couldn't get the cutters out, they couldn't really do much work. We got dry about a week ago and the green staff will work round the clock to get the course in condition. But as you walk across the course, it is a clay base, it's very compacted, no real spring in the turf. But congratulations to all concerned, because the course looks a picture.
Certainly does, and there's the hotel in the background. This is Jared Mosley, also a joint leader. He'll just come off with birdie at the 8th. He's second to the par 4 9th, another one of the dangerous holes here, 433 yards. Second shot over water, and I hope that's found the bunker.
Yeah. 63 in Lyon last week to lead after the first round. At the end of the second round, more concerned about making the cut, which he just did. Finished tied 66, shows how quickly fortunes can change.
Stenson for his birdie at 6, and this to retake the lead.
It's painful to watch, but it is part of the learning process. And must have been, I arrived here this morning, having driven home last night, seen the 3-shot lead and thought, well, good luck to Henrik if he hangs on and takes this one. But basically all the others will be looking second place, 7 under. I was thinking that's the target. So it's proven. It's Stenson coming back to the field, and now we've got some 14 players within 3 shots of each other. You can see his best performance this year was last time out at Quinta del Lago. Ryder Cup standing is an irrelevance. But he won the Challenge Tour last year. He's a fine prospect. 3 wins on the Challenge Tour. And of course he's playing with Thomas Bjorn, who 5 years before also won the Challenge Tour. Remember, came out with 4 wins. So that really is, if you can take it, the best route onto the European Tour, because you do arrive tournament ready, tournament hardened.
And so I was surprised to learn the other day that the top 15, this is McGinley's birdie putt, that the top 15 in the Challenge Tour actually get into tournaments easier than the top 15 that come out at the qualifying school.
Well, I think that's right. I mean, it's a reward for a season's toil rather than one inspired week, albeit under intense pressure.
Certainly intense pressure. David Hallam looking for a par at the 8th. It never looked like it was going to get there ever.
Signs of a revival in form in Portugal a couple of weeks ago. Only top 10 finish of the year. And he hasn't really gone forward since winning in Dubai a couple of years ago. Maybe this will be the time. Not much breeze. Well, there is a bit of breeze around. It's squirting through the trees, isn't it? And holes can be a little difficult, but for most of the players, this 7th will be 6, 7 iron.
6, 7 iron, 7 iron for the longer hitters, but generally a 6 iron. But it is a beautiful hole. It's his huge, enormous bunker that looks like half a dozen bunkers, and then the two back left and back right. The green also raised above the fairway. It's an awkward target, not a very wide green.
Remodeled by Dave Thomas, one of the two original architects. Peter Alice was the other a couple of years ago. I remember in the early days playing this hole, and it was surrounded at the front of it by railway sleepers. And your ball would hit there and could rebound almost back to you.
Yeah. They look pretty, but they're not much fun when you hit them. And again, you can see very steeply sloped from back to the front of the green.
Just looking at 1 or 2 scores, and Neil Doughty, the amateur, is 70. And he really is enjoying life amongst the pros as we watch Bjorn's tee shot at 7.
Hole today in a sneaky position. Here at the 7th, just 9 paces from the front and 4 from the right. So there's bunker back right definitely in play. And disappointing news is that Devon Wood, who we saw hit that gorgeous 7 iron into this hole, did not manage to hold the putt and just walked away with a par 3.
Talking about Doherty, he was playing with Mark McNulty, which must have been an education in itself, and he'd be delighted. McNulty 73, Doherty 70. No one would suggest for a moment that he's a better player than Mark McNulty, but you take a lot of confidence from going out with one of the European Tour's best, and on this occasion outscoring him.
Oh yes, it's going to be his confidence anyhow. Now Stenson, also. He was funny enough, the driving is the strongest part of his game. Feels a little longer than average, and normally very straight. Already a couple of fairways have been missed this afternoon, and that looks no more than a 7 iron for Stenson. So pulled away slightly, but I think the wind is from the right, as you can see, the way the flag is blowing.
A lot of wind there, yeah.
Of course, has been here for around about 30 years, and when it first came here all those years ago, very few trees on, and we can see really coming out of the ground with the pylons at the far end of the course. It really has matured quite beautifully.
Good recovery from Jared Mosley at the 9th. He should pop that in. And if he does, he's out to 33, 8 under, joint leader. It's a strange hole, a sort of dog legs. First part of it from right to left. And then there's a kink to the right, and that's perfect. And the hole again today here, 15 paces from front and 15 from the right.
Mosley 63 in Leon, and then we saw quite a bit of his second round. He really was struggling to hold his swing together. It's strange how little things can change overnight. Clearly he was headed on the right track. A tweak or two and he's back in the groove.
Just a 3-wood here for David Howell. It's much firmer at the top of the swing now, something he's been working on. It used to be a bit flicky there.
Yeah, he's working with Clive Tucker, who used to be a European Tour pro, he's professional now down at Manning's Heath in Sussex. And he just used to have a sort of dip and a sway, and it just looks more solid now.
It does much more solid. And talking about Manning's Heath, that's where Ewan Murray is the president of the golf club, and you and I have enjoyed the odd game there with him.
His own parking spot, he does. There's the 10th where they've pushed this tee forward, and Russell Clayton going for broke, as many players have. Among those who really got rewarded, Colin Montgomery, who held his second, probably a putt for a 2. And the tee will be forward again tomorrow, and it's a much more exciting hole when that's the case.
Well, certainly. That was Ollie Carlson coming up just short with that birdie putt. Yeah, well, that 10th hole talking about it just measures 311 yards, and even from the back in a favourable wind in a 4-ball match, the games like the Ryder Cup, players, one partner safe, the other one has a dip. But where it's up there now, 270, most of them can get there very comfortably. But all the same, Beds, it's not much of a target, is it?
Well, it's one of these mind game holes, and that you're walking up maybe 8 or 9, think, well, I've got this option, will I go for it? Is my driving good enough? Can I get there with a 3-wood? Where's the wind? And It's rather like the 17th at Sawgrass. You can be a complete wreck by the time you stand on the tee. These answers do await.
Yeah, that bunker looks like part of a jigsaw puzzle, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's plenty of sand, isn't there?
Now Stenson. Should come from his left. Come on, ball, this time. Well done, and that helps a little after missing the tiddler. Oh, sorry, you should go 4-footer for a birdie on the previous hole. But out in the lead in his own once more.
25 putts round 1, 27 in round 2, and having missed a few greens and got up and down here and there. Again, looking to enjoy a tidy putting round. Leaded by 1 from Jerry Moseley.
Good par 3 there for Thomas Bjorn.
Good round also today, early. Phil Price, bit of a Belfry specialist, second behind Jose Maria Olazabal 12 months ago. Olazabal himself 4 under and on the 18th at the moment. Also coming through Team Robertson, who has Ryder Cup aspirations. If you haven't been with us the first 2 days, this is going to be the venue in September for the Ryder Cup, Europe against America. Captain Sam Torrance was playing so well for the first 2 days and has to pull out with a rib injury. And his counterpart from the United States, Curtis Strange, also here, played the first 2 rounds but missed the cut.
This obviously must be close from Paul McGinley. The reaction from the crowd. It is a difficult second shot. Those will have to come over the bunker and the water that guards the front of the green. Devon Wood is his third shot to the par 4/8. Not an easy green to find. Settle down, ball. Get in. Better. That went in a little quickly there. And also now, just like Stenson missing a little one at 6 holes, a big putt at 7. And Devon hit a wonderful shot into the short 7th and missed it. And makes up for it there. 7-iron for Howell to 9.
So you've just got a little ridge to come down. Wind out of the northeastern corner, as it has been all week. And when it gets to this time of year, that can be a very pleasant warm wind. January, February, that means freezing weather coming from Scandinavia and Russia.
The big flowing swing of Henrik Stenson. Here's a ripper. He's probably a little on their backs here and probably helping a touch. That is a long, long drive.
Well, first 2 rounds, Hutchie was 12th in the driving distance and 16th in driving accuracy. That's a pretty potent combination.
Wild tee shot Thomas Bjorn hit at the 4th. He did extremely well to get a 5 out of it in the end. And that's right down the high little diddle as well.
So with the Ryder Cup to come in September, 1 or 2 would-be candidates keen to post their Belfry credentials to show that they can handle this course, which is no pushover. We've had 1 or 2 66ers, but it's not a course that easily yields a 64 or a 63.
Well, as we've said already, if you make mistakes here, the course can be very penal. And this is one of the penal holes, the par 3 12th, 208 yards. Over a pond, out of bounds not far away on the left. That's the hole towards the front of the green, and that wonderful play from Ollie Carlson, but a dangerous one. The hole today there is just 7 places on the green.
Everybody being bold at the 10th, Aaron Moseley having got himself into good shape. Doesn't feel able to risk it. It's still not an easy shot, even with the wedge 9-iron for your second in your hand.
It is such a narrow, long green, that, and bunker right and water left. So you've got to be feeling very, very confident to have a dip of that green off the tee.
Newton also going along quite nicely through the 10th hole now. 2 under for today for the young Swede from Stockholm. A couple of birdies, no drop shots.
How close beds are Danish and Swedish as languages?
I think they're quite a way apart.
You know, there are a lot of words in Danish that are very similar to Afrikaans, but you can recognise on the shop fronts, the chemists and those sort of things.
Not a linguist myself, but
Nor I.
there's not that much love lost between the Danes and the Swedes. Like to, there's always a bit of a rivalry, and they were always going to war with each other in years gone by. Now they built a bridge actually from Copenhagen over to Malmo that we'll probably be crossing on our way to the Volvo Scandinavian Masters in August.
So they're going to miss that.
You missed my birthday.
The birthday. Well, I'll be there, but I'm going to miss the ride and the boat that we had. We won't miss your birthday for any price to bet. We're down the hill now. For David Howe. Got the shot of the previous hole. And a good start today, David. Birdied the third, then the 6th and 7th. Do well just to roll this up to the hole side. If it goes in, just a bonus. Different idol. See what I mean?
It was a hole that cost Russell Clayton that shot his first bogey of the round. The big man out in 36.
Looks like a very lofty line to me for Thomas Bjorn, so the wind definitely helping at this 428-yard par 4. Super shot.
Not seeing too many balls spin because what they've done with the greens being so wet, I suspect it's quite given them quite a good roll and get them a little compacted, get them right for this week, and then you may well see the Holotyne out and get a bit of growth with more sunshine and a little warm rain perhaps.
It's good to see they weren't going to water them throughout the week. That's a danger. Cabrera is going on very nicely. Today out in 34. It's had a very disappointing finish to his round yesterday. Otherwise he might have been closer to the lead. Awfully long drive from Stenson. It looks like no more than a 9-iron to me. Good man. And there's the quality of the strike, so good. The fairways are actually remarkably good. It is mentioning that the rough, it's a little wispy and you can get right down to the bottom, sort of muddy type of lies. But the fairways themselves are excellent.
Now to save his par. Time after time, they're so good, the pros. Always worth repeating. They stay down, they watch the ball go past the horse, so they know for sure the line coming back, and sometimes that's all they need to know.
True. Pass into the birdie at 12. Well done. This hole doesn't give clues away lightly, and as I say, it's such a dangerous position for the hole in the front of the green, the water very much in play.
Now, sales of sunscreen in the UK haven't been too buoyant over the last 9 months, but starting to pick up. Another reason why this is such a beautiful weekend, it's sort of almost slap bang in the middle of 2 bank holiday weekends where invariably it rains. But we're not complaining, we'll take this.
Ron Good is deep in the bush at the 9th hole, so he'll do well just to get himself back on the fairway. That's a pity after chipping in for the birdie on the last. He's another one who played beautifully yesterday and spoiled it rather at the end when he took the double bogey at the 18th. So he's given himself a chance to pitch and putt straight back down the screen.
Russell Clayton, who drove into the bunker off the 10th tee, didn't manage to up and down it, had to settle for par. And badly dropping a shot at 12, slipping back to 5 under, but that's it, still very close.
What are we looking for here?
Okay,
Looks like Harrington's one of them. Oh, nice one.
Who would know? The 2 under, and this is on the 11th hole. metaphorically got back to level par with a birdie at 10, so it puts him at 4 under overall. The way that Porter Carrington's caddy's getting now just suggests it's Porter's ball.
Oh no.
There's Mosley. No, he said, and I'm not sure, don't tell me he's pulled his left in into the water.
Yes, he has.
He has too. Oh, you wish it had a dip off the tee. I'd say, it is a dangerous little hole.
But you know, if you start thinking about it too early, how are you going to play it? I mean, it's not a bad. Almost aim at those bunkers up on the bank, give yourself room to clear the water. And at worst, you're in the sand. And most players would reckon they could get up and down, although it does slope seriously away.
Well, if you're saying, you know, you worry about this hole before you get there, and I always have an argument with my great pal Mike DeVilliers at Modifante. He's always worrying about a tee shot when he's on the first tee, worrying about the tee shot he's got to hit in the 13th hole. And I said, do me a favour, you concentrate on the one on the first. I said, you'll kill me on the way to Durban worrying about a bend down in Moy River, which is 300 miles away, getting on the highway here. But I've no doubt he'll give me a nice smart punch if he happens to be listening to the broadcast. All the best to everybody at Modifante.
Porterson, third shot. Came out on the qualifying score, actually won it. Not a bad start to life on the European Tour.
Just got to come across the corner of the bunker here. Sand line.
Especially with the wind behind and the position of the pin, you've got to be a little cautious. If you can spin that back off that ledge, it could be very good. He's very, very close to being stone dead.
He was too, and there again, that's just the difference, isn't it? It's coming out of that semi-rough and the fairway. Off the fairway, would have got a little extra spin, and he might well have sucked it down to the hole.
Still played it very well. And this is big problems for Warwick Harrington. And there's Caroline coming in now to Mrs. Harrington to have a look. He doesn't have a lot of luck around this place, does he? I mean, disqualified.
I don't think it was that far long.
Be a bit careful with the 5 minutes on the watch. I think this camera is left. He's hooked this into the trouble. And there's a fence up there which is quite close to the main road.
This is 11, you say, there on?
I think it must be on 11 looking
And
at
there's water down on the left too there now. Yawn for birdie. On the back of the 8th. Go on. This is more pace, but they're not the sort of greens that you can attack the hole on.
He's 5th in the Ryder Cup points table. And got a stretch of tournaments where that table, the top 10 automatic places, will take a lot of shape. And if he were to win this week, that would take him pretty well to the million-point mark in the team. I mean, I think he's going to make it anyway. No one questions that. But the earlier you can do it, the better.
Just Stenson holding out. Short with his birdie attempt. Yeah, well, he wouldn't like to see the European side without Thomas Bjorn in it.
No, he missed out at Brookline, but that's mostly due to injury. And that's always a worry with Thomas. He has neck and back problems and doesn't really want to play any more than 4 weeks in a stretch. And said if he were playing Ryder Cup, possibly 2 games in a day, he'd have his own couple of personal physios with him that would keep him on the upright and narrow, as it were. Had a foot operation, I believe, in the winter. Now you look at the tee, you can see the back tee there where they've been playing the first 2 days, and they brought it forward, I suppose, 40, 50 yards much.
Well, about 40, I think, from the extreme back, I'd say it's about 30 yards up from where they've been playing. But you can see that is no target at all. Even when you're going in with the wedge, it doesn't look too good.
Yeah, Nick Bolt's playing very well this year, but came to grief here 6th. I don't know how Gary Emerson took a 9 here, whether it was a tin cup hole or what.
How long can get on?
If you get a little impatient, it can happen very quickly. Somebody taken an 11 there yesterday, I believe. Stenson to 9. Bunker down the left must be avoided, which is only 240 odd yards to reach, but 270 odd to get by. The breeze helping, that shouldn't create a problem. But a lot of the players, 3 woods, try and keep that bunker out of play because you really want to be down the left half of this fairway.
Italy 14th in the Ryder Cup table with definite aspirations. He's had a really good season in many ways. He's had 3 top 10s. He was tied 7th last week in France, and he's not missed a cut. He's always been in the top 40, but there is the suspicion still that he has 3.5 good rounds out of 4, and he just needs to get the job finished. And maybe should have nicked 1 or 2 more than he has over the years.
He's taking it very seriously. He and Harrington a couple of years ago were more or less the same, and were running along the same. And then Harrington's run up to 19th now in the world rankings, and poor old Paul is back there at about 70th spot. 77. And he said he feels he should have advanced as far, and the difference has been the putter, really, because he's a very sound striker of the ball. Just doesn't seem to hold as many putts. And Harrington, of course, quite brilliant around the green.
He's always been, and it's improved for the most part in his long game, although that poor drive at 11's a bit of a worry, and improved his general fitness, and Strand worked very hard on that aspect. No one works harder than poor Harrington. Every night in the hotel, it's a lovely hotel. Look out on the putting green, who's there? The Irishman.
His 5th shot, recovery shot. Sweet relief.
And he's one of the many golfers in residence at the Belfry with the family. Saw a young baby in hands the other day. In his arms.
Who? Jared?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Might have been someone else's baby, I suppose. But
I've got a feeling it was.
It definitely was a baby.
I had a laugh at Yarma Sandlin flying his baby out of breakfast the other morning. It's completely unconventional. He had it on that big hand of his, on his tummy, and flying the baby all over the place. And I thought, well, not too many mothers would put up with that too happily. But the baby seemed to be loving it.
He was super boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Jose Rivera's again, one of these players, a veteran who played in the 2 Ryder Cups, one of them here in 87, wild card picked by Tony Jackson. He's certainly capable of a low round and maybe 2, but these days not so many 3 and 4 round performances here.
There's probably only an 8 iron here for David Howe laying up. I'd be surprised if it was any more. From the very back tee, it's only about 170 odd to reach that bunker on the right side. No more than 140 from where he was. Austin coming in for 30. 12, can't quite make it at 13. Another good solid par 4.
No relation to Robert. Again, a player whose career has been dogged by injuries, car accidents, and broken bones here and there. All looks very beautiful and serene, but don't disturb her. So, Thomas Bjorn we thought might prove to be the strongest. He's still got a little while to go, but on the 9th hole he's bogeyed that hole both days so far. Cabrera, no surprise that he's starting to threaten a little. In fact, the surprise was that he missed the cut in the French Open last week, because that apart, he's had a quite superb season, including his first win on the European Tour and the co-sanctioned Argentinian Open, and then had a fine debut in the first appearance in the US Masters at Augusta. David Howe going on. It's very close at the moment, and Stenson, all credit to him, because he got the bad start that many of us thought he was likely to get, and he's come back well.
Certainly has, but here is Stenson. Second of the 9th again, a very lofted iron. It's a good looking swing. Big tall man. Good shot, sir. On the bottom ladder, and there is another birdie opportunity. Thomas, always a dangerous shot from the bunker. So about 150 yards to the front edge from there. Difficult to control the ball, and he's got that very quick putt down the green.
He hasn't really got the this all sorted yet, has he? Also Marie Olafable. He's 6 and 18 for the defending champion. Round of 72. Disappointing finish to put it mildly. 2 under going into the final round.
You can see this back pin placement is causing a little drama. They say in the centre of the green, but the way the water is shaped there, that looks back left to me, but it's not the easiest shot in the world. The shot Bobby Locke would have played very nicely, would have drawn it up that green.
He probably sat up there in the back with the spectators. They're all up there with summer picnics, most with knitting. Watching the heads roll.
And there are a few have rolled too. While we're waiting for the action, just talking about Cabrera's first win at the Jockey Club, the Argentinian Open. Lucky enough many years ago, way back in 1962 to play in a World Cup there with Gary. And the finest shower heads I've ever known. I wonder if they're still the same. It was a 24-inch flower in the shower. It nearly knocked you through the wall. Best shower I've ever had in my life. And they gave you a little stool. You could sit on there and let it pound on you after being out in the heat and arrive all sweaty and dirty. Great stuff.
My speech at Bracknell Rugby Club last night. You know you've gone late when you begin your speech, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
Yes, I like that.
Looked at the invitation. It said 7:30 for 12. Never mind, we gave him a quality 10 minutes to go back to the bar.
No doubting it. Again, this funny little angle. You look at this 10th green from.
See, Bracknell Rugby Club have had a great season. Little club that, you know, in Berkshire there, just got a tiny ground, and they've won 6 promotions in 7 years, and they're just in the 1 division below the Premiership. So if they got another promotion, they'll be up against the Leicesters and Baths of this world. It's a remarkable story. And the guy behind it, the judge, Paul Rendell, do you remember the England prop?
Mm-hmm.
He's the coach there, and he's arrived when they were in the South West County Division 2, and his first team talk was, you know, goodness lads, the worst that we've got to get out of this league. And they've been doing it ever since, so it was nice to sort of share in a bit of their success last night.
Oh, that's great. I think our old rugby captain Gary Tyke is going to be a very important game today, isn't he? Final of some cup and his final game, I believe he's going back to South Africa to down to Durban, as far as I could gather. It's a shame what happened to him, King one day and gone the next.
Poor start for your fellow countryman Retief Gibson, wasn't there, with 3 drop shots in the first 5 holes. He could have birdied at 6, and he's parred his way through to the 11th. 300. Well, it's not too far back. I mean, there's still an awful lot can happen.
And by his own admission, though, Beds, he said he felt, you know, he'd underplayed. He hadn't really played much since Augusta, and of course got married a couple of weeks ago. And so I was very agreeably surprised. He fought back nicely after a slow start in the first round for 71, and a good 68 yesterday. So he is a quality player, let's face it.
Sitting pretty in the clubhouse, 6 under, Eduardo Romero. Terrific start to his round, 4 straight birdies. Dropped a couple of shots and picked up another birdie to the turn, but he finished so strongly as well, with birdies at 15, 17 and 18.
Somebody's got busy with the telestrator for us there.
Well,
BBC, of course, doing the pictures. And
it's always worrying when they
that
miss
would
it
be
with the
Alex.
telestrator.
Hey.
Well, he's missed it on the right with the telestrator, isn't he?
He has, definitely. It gives you an idea of the way the ball will turn.
The way he's walking gives you a clue that he might move from left to right.
Yeah, little pal Dean Robertson's coming along very nicely in the back 9. A couple of birdies on the back 9 to get to 5 under. So he's very much in the picture. Won the Italian Open a couple of years ago, and quite the most beautiful course I think I've seen in Europe.
Venturin, Torino Golf Club. There was another one just across the way that looked even better or as good.
Let's see, those 2 lovely courses. Go on. Oh.
We got the telestrator dead right.
You did.
Dean Robertson's another one of those. He's got a lot of fans amongst some of the established golfers. Thomas Bjorn and Lee Westwood singing his praises towards the end of last season, saying they thought, they were telling Dean himself, you can make the Ryder Cup side, you good enough.
So just a little news from, of course, Richard Green, the left-handed Australian player. He's round in the 70s today, so he's 4 under. Brett Brunford had made such a nice start. I don't know what's happened to him. He slipped down the leaderboard.
Yeah, it's just a shame the camera's out of range of cameras. I know you can't be everywhere at once, but I'm sure you'd enjoy watching a little bit of Aaron Badley, who's at 5 under, 4 holes to go. One of the brightest young prospects in the world of golf at the moment. A man who might give Tiger a run for his money is the man who beat Tiger in Dubai. Just sends that putt trickling on its way, and
that was beautiful judgment. He just barely got it to the ridge, and it's the putt to David Howell spun well past the hole. Harrington, we don't know what's happened with the problems.
No caption to help us. With hearing, it was an 8. So the first ball obviously wasn't found, but even so.
Stenson. No. Oh, the vicious swing. It really was a tough putt. The hole, and Yvonne Goethes only managed to 2-putt, so he dropped a shot at the 9th as well, out of 37. At 5 under and 4 behind this man.
Still, please.
Up the hill here for Paul McGinney. Again, it should come a little from his left. Amazing how they seemed to almost hit something to slow down. It looked like it was running quite nicely, and then you could see the brakes come on.
Surrounded more than quite a few of the other greens by tall trees. We've had a bit of dry, we've had a bit of sunshine, but it will be a little harder to get through to the 10th green. Maybe a day or two behind the others. That's a pity.
Oh, a wonderful first putt from Thomas. I think that was it just looked like he shoved it right at the hole. I don't know whether it was a misread or...
Well, 3 5s in a row on the night. Not his favourite hole. And Stenson progresses, and you have to say that he may have got over his rust spell. He may keep the pack at bay. There's Badley at 5 under alongside Robson, and Clayton also at 5 under. He only parred the 10th. And here he is. Well, I'm flattered.
For Eagles.
Watch this putting style. I mean, just very simple. One look back and through. The greens will be a little different to those in Australia, but he's such an aggressive putter. And he won't waste much time on that one back either. Big hitter as well. Happy to get. I know the wind is helping a little, but that's 2 big hits.
It is. Well, but it's looking at the hole. There's a lot of birdies there from the players ahead and a couple of eagles. And, as I say, but I think the hole's cut in rather an awkward spot. They're just above the ridge there, so it's very difficult to get the speed right if you leave it out in the front of the screen.
This is the young man who won the Australian Open as an amateur in '99 and went back as a professional and successfully defended it, which was, I said it before, and it's one of the performances of the year, and entertained us richly. I was down in Sydney, lucky enough to be there for the Greg Norman head-to-head with Sergio Garcia, coming out on top in the first extra hole. They went back to the 18th par 3. Aaron made a beautiful 2 to deny the Spaniard, and he's destined for the top. Good to see him in Europe.
Yvonne Goethes now, he's long enough surely to knock it on this 10th green, but whether he'll... Oh, it looks like he's having a go. It's a very bold stroke. He get it right, and he has got it right. I'd love to be closer to see what he hit there. He could very nearly got there with an iron. Did you not enjoy that stroke then?
Yeah, it was fine.
I think you're just trying to make me sulk.
He's a little upset, the viewer, that there are 2 South Africans who are out playing on their own. He thinks he's taking it rather personally, but John Hugo was the odd man out last in the field, so he was out first on his own. And a 73 probably means he won't be last out tomorrow.
So that included a double bogey, unfortunately, at the 18th hole. which has bitten so many players here this week. So John is actually playing quite nicely. But badly for his birdie 4 now at 50.
He just sets it behind and he's there, bang, and in she goes. Doesn't that look a wonderfully simple putting style?
Yep. It's awesome, remember, he's just a young man. Doesn't believe he can miss yet.
Says Roger Boxer, when did you start to think about 4-footer back? He said, when I started to miss them.
And the second shot for Jared Mosley into the 11th. 419 par 4, pretty straightaway hole. Bunkered left and right off the tee. A lot of players 3-wood and then 7-iron, 8-iron into the screen. Both coming up short, and I always feel the pins cut close to the front edge of the greens are the most difficult. So both players leaving it short here and awkward little shots left. Just looking at that bush, we've got to believe that Harrington was in the rough on the right, in those trees on the right, I think, It was difficult to work out. It was very difficult to tell, but it looks more like the sort of trees he was in than the ones on the left.
Anyway, the computer's definitely showing the 8. And, back to level pass, 45th. Big putt for Devon. You've got your fingers crossed there.
But it might try and slide a little to his right, downhill, very quick. Good effort, though.
Was. Certainly get the 3. That will get him back to level today.
I've been impressed. Devon's had, last week took that triple bogey 6 at his 8th hole of the day at a par 3, and then fought back admirably and eventually eagled the last hole. He hit the most glorious iron shot to about a couple of feet. And he's really started to fight. When things go wrong, he will stick in there and fight. And he's had some good results.
He's 71st in the money list from 9 previous appearances. That's a very steady start for someone out of tour school. This is his 4th cut in a row. Just top 20 last week. You've obviously known about him for a while. He's been a winner on several occasions down in South Africa on your winter tour.
Well, on the winter tour and also on the main tour. He won the Masters event at Belcombe at Oppenheimer Park 2 years back. He showed a wonderful 64 there in the final round, I think it was. And he's also, I think, the youngest winner ever of the South African Amateur Championship. He was barely 16 when he won Royal Johannesburg East, I think. And Kensington, of course, now.
R.I.P. Another look at the town. Just looking at the, we'll wander down this one again. But Bernhard Langer is playing with Aaron Baddeley. That will be an education for the young man in itself. Birdie for Bernhard at 15, 2 in a row, 14, 15, and he dropped 2 shots at the 3rd, the par 5, when indeed was out in 39, 3 over. So although Aaron Baddeley is scoring slightly better than Bernhard, there's still lessons to be learned from the way the old maestro is still grinding out right until the very last.
He's such a gentleman with golf. You can see the whole slope down towards the water on this 10's been long and narrow. And, just an iron. He's setting up. He might well be having it. Could the wind be that strong behind him? I feel he's probably having a go with that. That's why I had a feeling that Devon Buertis might well have hit iron as well onto the screen. It's over, but up the bank, and it's no easy chip from there. No doubt what Thomas is doing. It's the 3-wood. Here I come. Just hold thumbs.
Holding the follow through eventually, and that was right at it. He was a little worried. Well, he's done okay, and yet he could have gone in the water short. He might just have pulled it left and gone. He almost went through.
Into the water at the back. It really isn't much of a target.
On balance, we'd take that.
What a question.
In the background, the famous Belfry nightclub. We still haven't got actually there. The trouble is they don't open till about 9 o'clock. He's normally tucked up in bed by then.
Too true. There's no truth in the rumours when you get older you need less sleep. I don't think anyhow.
Just need the streak a little quicker.
That's exactly right.
I have to believe that Yarrow Mosley's not quite on his A game at the moment. There's still one or two areas to iron out, to improve. Stenson by 2, but 4 players at 7 under in the clubhouse. Romero leads after his round of 66, the low round of the day, an equal low round of the week. Badly looking for the strong finish, and of course Cabrera has got the 2 par 5s to come, and he's capable of finishing very strongly indeed. Bodas with his birdie at the 10th hole into a share of 6. Remember, he's playing on his own, his fellow competitor Sam Torrance, pulling out with rib injury, we understand. She aggravated at practice last night. Treatment overnight didn't alleviate the problem, and that's very sad because Sam was playing well, and
He really was.
Former winner had to have a chance.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. He was very confident, playing beautifully.
Perhaps a surprise. Thomas Bjorn slipping back with it. Might be Stenson that he's playing with. Phil Price again showing his liking for the Belfry. A winner in Portugal a couple of weeks ago, second here last year, and a good round, 67 today to move up into contention. Colin Montgomery dropping a shot at the last, and he may just be one too far back. Would have to go low tomorrow. The signs are he's not quite ready to do that, though he will play the next 5 weeks, and the main thing for Monty is just to get out there and play and get sort of battle hardened. Darren Clark 76 yesterday was disappointing, wasn't it?
It was after a very sound 69 in the first round. It was extremely disappointing. And anyway, a good comeback from him today, 68.
But there we are. Stenson leading the way, but we're not quite sure where his ball is to the right of the 10th hole. He went with an iron, so confirmation he's a big, strong boy. And got across the water, but once it rattles amongst those trees, we saw spectators moving, looking around, but nobody seemed to actually see the ball. So we'll return to that in a moment, but let's go to 11 and McGinley's second.
Wonderfully steady swing McGinley possesses. He does work enormously hard. Good shot, very good shot. He's saying hole cut right to the front of the green, just 419 yards holes. This one. And I'll tell you what, that is as good a bunker shot as you'll ever see from a desperately difficult spot.
So the Carlson's third at the 15th. His reward ought to be a birdie 4.
David Howell. Looks no more than an 8 iron for David. Just got away from him a little, but not all bad.
Well, there he is, the bank, and certainly could be worse, but it's quite a terrifying shot if you're not on your game. Across the bunkers and water not far behind the pin.
Discretion in the shot, but it's coming more up the green, so even so, that's fine.
I think we've mentioned Lee Westwood, who's just finished with a 75. Yesterday's round was good, a round of 68. He is a little rusty. He's only played a couple of times in the last 6 months or so. 75 and 74 for Paul Laurie, who finished with the 6.
Mosley over the water at the 12th. Par 3. He's just squeezed it over. Oh, very good shot off the back. Wonderful. If you're talking about saying Jose Maria finishing with the 6, Paul Laurie, who eagled the 15th, has also just finished with a double bogey 6. And so many players have finished with 6 on 18 today. It is a mean old hole.
This round's not over until you got through there, is it?
Chip back up his 10th green for Thomas. Settle down. All depends on the lines you find. And you can be a little unlucky. There's still mud very close to the surface. There hasn't been a tremendous amount of growth, so greens can be awkward. The chipping area is awkward. Carlson for birdie. Now that is special. That bunker shot, I'd love to see that again. Remarkable.
Only one behind now. And on his own in second. Usual looking leaderboard because Romero a winner. McGinley, we know how talented he is, but the expected big names, nobody really mounting a challenge. Ola Tharbell, Westwood, Hart, Montgomery, all just out of range at the moment. Stenson hoping to put them a little further up behind this for birdie to get back into double figures.
Come on, turn. It's a fraction too much at that speed. It just makes for a very interesting event, though, doesn't it? And Benson Hedges, please, again, I hate this one through the prisms. This view, I mean, well, you can't see the bars, yes you can. And it just makes for a very interesting final day tomorrow if nobody bursts away. Somebody could still burst away in the back nine.
And they're delighted with the crowds, the weather they're getting out. They're used to the history of this tournament. It's just the 31st, and Benson Hedges are the longest continuous sponsor on the Standing European Tour sponsor. And they used to play in August at Fulford, and actually played a couple of times with that. It used to be beautiful. It was a lovely week because people used to take the week off as a week's holiday to help in the car parks marshal on the course. There was a sort of festival feel about it, but then when people began to get across invites to the USPGA, the field was getting a little weaker. It's always been a quality field, and so they moved it forward in the year, and they thought, well, we've got to go south and west. So they went to St. Melly down in Cornwall and had 1 or 2 rough years on the course at Jackville, and decided to go a couple of weeks later and come up to the home counties to the Oxfordshire, and it snowed and it rained and it blew. And we had a couple of nice days, and that didn't really work out. And they came up here last year, and the first 2 days were about as cold as I remember in May. Cut was +7, and the weekend was a little better, but it was a rough old week. And then you've got this week, it's been quite beautiful, improving every day, except for Thomas Bjorn.
He's struggling a little this afternoon. It's an amazing old game. Things started to go wrong. His couple of putts and missing that tiddler on the previous hole didn't help.
It's a little parochial. There is a feeling amongst many that this is almost the real start of the season, which I think it's almost a British arrogance. Well, we're here now, and let's get underway. We're not realising that most of the tour has been going for about 16 events.
It is, I think, well, this is about the 18th event now, isn't it?
I haven't counted, but we've been going since South Africa, haven't we, this year?
Well, if you include the Johnny Walker last year, which was extensive to par.
But in a way I can understand the sentiment, because for a lot of the bigger stars, they maybe been over in the States, or maybe they've been resting there, rolling up their sleeves. It's the start of a lucrative run of big money tournaments in Germany next week, and then at Wentworth and Woburn.
Just quickly, this is the 19th event of this year's tour.
To include the match play and the,
yes,
the US Masters.
Yeah. You're trying to get out of it, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying that's...
it is part of the course, part of your order of merit.
Schedule, yeah. Not sure it should be, but it is.
I'm inclined to agree with that, though.
But a few of us have had our passports stamped a time or two before coming home. And we really could be more in the heart of England, the Belfry, just outside the city of Birmingham.
Just tickle down the hill, beautifully done by Mosley, and that was for a 2 at 12. So they're reluctant this hole to give away too many twos, and we've seen a couple already this afternoon, Carlson and him.
Yeah, and Retief Goosen, we didn't see, but he made it too.
Right rough there. McGinley. It's for birdie at 11. Little from the left. Yeah, it's a bit easy. More of that from McGinley than one's going in. Gives himself a lot of chances.
So we've been on air for an hour now. Reminded that Sam Torrance pulling out just before his allotted tee time with a rib injury. He was lying joint third. Devon Botas playing in the penultimate match, playing on his own.
No, that's fine. It's a good ball. It's perfect.
Henrik Stenson still leading. Big move in the early part of the day made by Eduardo Romero, 66. And he was in the 11th match out. He'll be a lot later out tomorrow.
It's a good 4-iron, as Paul McGinley's caddy said, into the 12th green. And over the water, the hole cut right to the front of the green. Normally 208 to the middle. So a little less than that today. Good shot. They are not scared, these boys.
We ought to be Folker, didn't we, a little early, not catch all of his 4-iron and into the water. And incredibly, we saw Stephen Gallagher hook it left to almost the position he was in yesterday and ended up taking 6-4 today.
And this is Cabrera's third shot to 15, and once again this fairway he must have missed. Had a great pitch. It was Ribeiro's tee shot up there earlier when we were coming out to our commentary position. You remember, it was 50 yards over that bunker on the right. It's 280 to carry at 17. 4-iron for Howe.
Supporters would have made the trip up from Swindon, his hometown. It's not much more than an hour's drive away. And he's off left there is a TV compound. I suspect there's a little portaloo there as well. There's the car on offer for a hole-in-one. It's a whole much changed in the revamp. It used to be just a little stream across the front. And now it's a fully flown pond. You heard him say it didn't come out at all, so it suggests he's going to come up short, and yet he's got the flyer.
But down in that bottom bank and bottom tier, it's going to be a work of art to get that one down into. But after what he's just done at the previous hole, I would not back against him. That's what a bunker shot that was.
It's lovely to be in England and see all the leaves out and green, and nature's wonderful.
It certainly is. I know what you wanted me to say, but I'm not game enough. Anyway, I reckon all the leaves have been very slow coming out, and not surprising. Didn't want to come out in the weather you've been having.
Well, they've come out very quickly. All of a sudden, all right, the sun's out, here we go. Peaceful. I wonder what's happening in the cup final.
I wonder. Yes, I did enjoy that last year with my son Steve.
Oh, cricket season as well, not so far away. It's down towards Sutton and Coalfield. And quite a defensive field. Wickets will be a little slow, you know, and they're all medium paces. And I always used to, for the first couple of months, always used to hole out to sort of mid-on, mid-off, just driving on the ball not coming on. My excuse anyway. So the crowds are okay today, but I mean, obviously with the distractions of the FA Cup final. Tomorrow, the weather's like this tomorrow, it'll be packed.
On for another birdie at 11. It's from the right. Well done. He moves to 7. That's the way to come back after the drop shot at 9. Birdies at both 10 and 11.
He's had 3 in the last 4 holes, hasn't
He has too. Even Carson couldn't organise the chip up that bank. It is so steep. And you've really got to make sure you get it up the first time. You don't want to leave it down the bottom. This must have been an enormous tee shot from Thomas Bjorn, because it's just clipping in a wedge. I wonder, I would trust it's his second shot, but it could well be his third. But maybe not. I mean, the breeze is crossing from the right. Inley for 2 now at 12. Oh, once again just slipping by the hole. Stenson second shot to the 11th as well. Remember, just 419 yards. Well, there's a tee shot of well over 300, just 112 yards to the hole, so it is no more than a wedge, possibly a sand iron and a lead. The players tend to just go with 3 woods down this 11th hole to bunkers to be avoided. So Colin Montgomery got the most awkward lie in the left-hand bunker on the first day and found another equally bad lie at the 13th, same afternoon. And David Howell was on the 12th. Chance for his 2. This will be a little on the rapid side. Go on and turn. So 2 beautiful tee shots, but just 3s.
Just been checking the football score. I won't. You can watch it later. I won't spoil it for you, but for the benefit of those of you at home, and look away now. Just showing Hutchie what the score is.
Well done. Cabrera for a birdie at 17.
He could be the man. I mean, he should have won perhaps in Qatar when Tony Johnson came through. It was a horrendous last round for Angle, but the monkey off the back in Argentina is some style.
Now this was Gerard Mosley, second into 13. Out of the rough, not too bad. To be on. This, we believe.
I wondered.
I wonder.
I mean, that was either a huge drive or a wayward tee shot.
Exactly.
At 11. I couldn't believe he could be that close on a hole that's, what, 419
Except
yards?
that Stenson, his second shot was from
Yeah.
112 yards, so they could well have both ripped it. So I've got a feeling that I must admit, my first I was surprised when I saw where he was, but seeing where Stenson finished, who knows? Newcastle for part 16.
It's wonderful. Football scores arrive, coffees arrive now. Thank you very much. It's a nice cream day, really, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pressing your luck.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I don't know, we'll confirm this, but we believe that it is a 6 from nowhere for Thomas Bjorn, and he is having the most awful day. And a little earlier, Harrington walked away with an 8. Ouch.
Well, the computer is showing -4 and showing that as a 5.
Well, that's what I'd like to think.
He's played very steady, McGinley. He's hit every fairway, he's hit every green. Just going to start making his fair share. That's 12 straight par, 11 pars, just the 1 birdie at 9.
Mosley now, long birdie putt. 13. Not a bad effort. So Stenson for a 3 at 11. Left hand side left. done.
Back to level par for the third round of the B&H International Open, and leader by 2 from Yarrow Mosley. That's still the case with Mosley making his 4 at the par 4 13.
And I think we've got to give a lot of credit to young Hendrik Stenson at the moment. Sort of start that could have really thrown him off, but he's fought back wonderfully well.
Yeah, and he can do no more. He gave the others a chance. Now he's picking up a shot or two. Some dangerous holes to come, mind you. And, you know, Cabrera with that 17th on his agenda. Par 5 that he can reach in 2. It's into breeze, so his power should count if he can keep it on the fairway. And Romero, 66, very much in contention. The par at 16 for Aaron Badley.
Just think about Stenson. Remember yesterday afternoon he dropped shots at 6 and 7. He finished on the front 9. That was his second 9 of the day yesterday, and he might well have been further ahead. And if he avoids those mistakes this afternoon and nobody else makes a run, he could finish with the lead he might have had yesterday.
Jorge Berent, triple-pronged Argentinian challenge. Retief Goosen with that birdie at 12, smartening up his card. Great performance from Nick Doherty, who now as an amateur has played in 3 European Tour events this year and made the cut in every one, starting in Morocco, then again in Portugal, and here at the Belfry. Reckons on turning pro, maybe after the Walker Cup in September, we shall see. Ola Tharbel really looked very strong midway through the round yesterday, and it was disappointing back 9 for him.
It really was. As I said, he's not quite on his game, and if you don't drive it on the fairway here, you're gonna rack up some scores. Now this is the 14th, and it's right downwind this hole now. 7-iron, not playing at its full length. Hole today 11 paces from the front. There's normally a 190-yard hole. See that big long bunker, another one of the jigsaw puzzle bunkers they have on this golf course. A little further right, that might have been good.
You wouldn't mind the sand contract for the year, would you?
Another hole for Bobby Locke. Bring it in there with a big draw.
Was there a course that he couldn't master?
No. There into 16. Outside birdie chance for him there. He just sort of lumbers along like a big friendly bear, doesn't he?
Oh, they call him El Pato in Argentina, the duck.
The duck. Now, Wood is in trouble at the par 3, which is a pity. It wouldn't have been no more than a 5-iron for him, and now he's struggling for a 4, if that is correct. Goodness me, it just looked like things were going well for Yvonne. A setback. You've got to keep bouncing back every time they knock you. They say it doesn't matter how many times you go down, Beds, as long as you keep getting up.
Badly at the 17th. Birdie putt, so he's left to settle for a par. He's going to mostly play in America, but I would think and would hope that he takes advantage of his 2-year exemption to see a bit of the world, to play on 1 or 2 stops watering holes of the European Tour.
I think in the interview that he gave at the start of the week, he said he was definitely going to play, but you know, felt there was a lot to learn, different shots that he hadn't, you know, yet got to play. And I think if he's going to be an all-world player, he's got to do his homework here as well.
And you get agreement there from Tiger Woods, and Tiger likes to play around the world, says to be the best in the world, you have to play all around the world. He's top of the bill next week in Germany.
Interesting to see what the pin is for McGinley at the 13th. His first fairway is missed off the tee. And the first, nearly squeezed. Are we going to be mean and call that a miscreen?
You can argue both ways, couldn't you?
You could. Maybe a little from his left for Borders. Just having gone birdie, I would love to have seen the tee shot and where it went. Take your time. One of those par threes, I promise the permit would be no more than a 5-iron, possibly 6-iron.
In between an 8 and a 9 for David Howe. This looks a straightforward hole, and yet you look at the hole stats a little earlier, and it was playing as one of the hardest on the course, and oh, it must be the pin placing, but it didn't look to be that.
Well, there's that evil little bunker back left.
Yeah.
That you get in there, and I know young Henny Otto he got in there an impossible lie, and eventually took 7, and he had to try and remove half the bank to try and get the ball into the bunker. It was very unfortunate. It isn't the longest hole in the world. It's, say, 384 yards. A very difficult bunker shot there. Let you downhill all the way to the hole. Wasn't too much you could do.
It's surprising in a way. The scoring is not quite as low on block as I thought it might be.
Well, I think the wind is enough to just make it a little difficult for the players. It's coming and going. You can see it's 6 mile an hour, then 10 mile an hour, so gusting a little. Club selection is bound to be a little tricky. And as I say, the greens are quick, and some of them just a little on the bouncy side, which never helps. Probably 4-iron, possibly 5-iron for Henrik Stenson. Playing less than it's 208 yards today with a pin cut in the front. Looks like it could have started at it.
It's a very orthodox swing, isn't it? Not too much to go wrong with that.
Beautiful.
Nice position at the top of the backswing, everything going through the ball.
Yes, beautiful turn. It's great to see.
Didn't sound great, did it?
I hope it's going to carry. Barely.
Cabrera at 16.
A Rayman.
So here's stay at 7 under, just 3 behind.
Difficult shot for David Howe and a little chip for this 13th. Settle down now. Carson make this par 5 17th and 2. He's back into the breeze a little. He had the length.
The last bunker that he was in back at 15, looked up and down okay. Did drop a shot at 16, of course, with the second shot that went through the green. Didn't manage to get down in 2. Depends, is that a green in regulation? Depends if he holds the putt or not. If he holds it 1 putt, green in regulation, you might put that down.
Well, I don't know. If a missed green and no putts. That's what it should be.
Technically 23 putts round 1, 31 yesterday.
Oh, and that's 3 putts in a row we've seen that has shaved either edge.
Trying to be positive and one not coming off for him. So remember, he was in the bunker with his tee shot, so best it's going to be a 4.
Very bowled you from that range earlier. So if you really get too bowled around, you can leave yourself a nasty 3 or 4 footer back if you miss.
We haven't seen Bjorn play his, though he has. He was short and left. And it's been a little against the grain for Bjorn. Things don't go right for him. There's a volcano in all of us.
No doubt about that. You know, I think he felt he was a little underplayed when he got here. He had been injury-free. He felt that his bad shots were more than made up for. His good ones were very good, he said. Keep turning, keep turning. Oh, it's horrible when they straighten up. You could look so good for so long.
Well, very few weaknesses on the face of him. We may be coming through to tomorrow afternoon, still waiting for him to come back to the field. He might never come back.
As I say, you know, very experienced as an amateur. He's an Eisner Trophy player and a good winner. Won 3 times in the Challenge Tour. And you know if you play your game, and a win's a win anyway, Steve, I think. If you're capable of winning on that, the standard of play in the Challenge Tour is also very sound. So the big thing is to allow yourself to play your game. And if you do that, you're going to be a winner.
Ola Carlson, 17th. Hard amongst shot, but he's played it beautifully. Sit down.
Well, he can go to the top of the class as far as bunker play is concerned today. The lie he had at the 15th, how he did what he did, was really amazing. I think even Gary Player would have been proud of it. And so would Tony Johnson.
So Mosley back to 7 under, and every chance that he will swap places with Ola Carlson in a moment or two.
Just for par for David. Howell at 13. Tricky green, this one. Well done.
Four pars in a row from the turn.
Good par for Thomas. Mosley, tee shot at 15th.
545 yards, quite a close field to the fairway, and tweak that to the left. Car path, trees, and one thing you can say for certain is he won't be getting on in 2.
Not better than that well.
Not sure that's the sort of image that's going to sell England to tourists worldwide.
Well, have a snooze. Why not?
If I had a belly like that, well, I've got a belly like that, but I wouldn't want this suntan.
Well, he's going to get tanned in the shade there, that I promise.
I think the hat rather completes the image, doesn't it? Lob it up.
Carlson out for a birdie, 70. 2 wonderful fours at the par 5 on his back nine. After 2 truly remarkable bunker shots. Well done. And he goes to 8 under.
Stenson still got the 2-shot advantage. 17th key hole for Cabrera. The key shot really is the tee shot because you angle it over the corner, and then the fairway's actually quite narrow. And Romero, as you were saying, we saw a little earlier this morning, just absolutely split the fairway of drive. That must have been the best part. 310, 320 yards.
About 330, it's 280. He was 50 yards by that bunker. It was a wonderful hit.
And pretty well our first view for some time of the 18th.
I've been surprised, Steve, that they've had the hole right in the back tier all 3 rounds.
And you have to think they're going to do it again tomorrow. Maybe on the middle tier. Sometimes that's the last day position. man's close enough to win.
It certainly is. A very strong hole, this 18th, 473 yards. Bunker on the right of the fairway to be avoided. Try and sneak it too far down the left side. You've got to hit a very big tee shot to carry the water. It's a wonderfully dangerous drive.
He's making his debut in the B&H. Really, with that one appearance. I mean, he had 2 appearances. He played in the Masters as well. Didn't play in the Heineken Classic, oddly enough. And though he's young, he's well advised, and he sticks to his schedule. What's best for him? He said, "I play best when I take a week off to prepare for a tournament I want to do well in." That's how it proved at the Lakes. There's a couple of very good young Australians. Adam Scott sadly missed the cut here. Also a winner on tour. He won at Houghton. One of the best final afternoons I've seen for many a year.
Yeah, it was very long in this tussle between him and Justin Rose. Can't believe it. Doesn't miss too many. But
Oh, he's got such a simple style. There's not too much can go wrong.
again, awkward though with the shadows there, Steve. Just makes it difficult to pick a line sometimes.
Jared Mosley might have got a little lucky here, but a little excursion along the car path might have got him into a position to have some sort of shot. But the lie is fairly deep.
But remember, there's that ditch that crosses this fairway.
9 or an 8 on just up the right.
And he's got to try and,
9, yeah.
I think, try and leave it short of that. Yeah, saying 9 or 8 on. Just try and get it back. But then, of course, they always say the secret of any long hole is get the first one on the fairway. If you miss with the second, you're somewhere near the green, you can improvise, but you miss off the tee, then have to chop it out, you're still left with a long, long way to go.
He's so far offline. There's some old bricks and building rubber underneath the stance. Which is never somewhere you really want to play off. You don't know quite how the stones are going to react.
It's so easy to damage your wrist. But Dennis Watson many years ago hitting the ball out of the rough at Greenwood, and he's never really come right. That twist has never been back as it once was.
Yeah. Watching here, he's on the left side of the ball.
This is, of course, a par 5, so takes his medicine. Shouldn't be too much damage done.
Too quick.
I'll tell you, he's really got after that over that ditch.
Did he got it over the ditch? I didn't really think he could. What he played.
Every week we see players do things with it. No, they can't do it.
They've got some games, these boys. David Howell now. Slightly easier bunker shot than that Jared Mosley faced, but he hasn't done too well with. Again, you see no room to work with, trying to play it very softly, but quite a high bank in front of him. You've got to hit it hard enough to get it up there. Just a little too much sand on this occasion.
Left it in there. Yep.
So look at this, he's steering him. Still working hard to make a 5 from there, Steve.
It's a sneaky pin placing, and with the wind gusting a little.
Lovely tee shot again from Stenson. He's second. Just a short iron into this 384 yard par 4. So dog legs from left to right as the players play it. Come up a little short there. Now McGinley. Can he make a putt? Just for a change.
We're trying to at the end of it a little bit more. See your man Goosen. Hutchinson.
Gerson,
Gerson, that's it. But good news, he made a birdie at 15. He's got himself to 4 under, and he 1 shot, 2 shots, picked up the last 3 holes, and he's back in the tournament.
Certainly is good fight back from him. As he says, he's definitely hasn't played a lot of golf the last month.
It's our first view of Henrik Nyström from Sweden. 32-year-old. He shared the qualifying score honours in '98 with Ross Drummond.
Wide stance.
Best performance on tour was second at Glen Eagles on the Monarchs course, the Jack Nicklaus course in last year's Scottish PGA. Just lost out to the FL Cup.
He did a good drive there.
He had a good start to the season, just outside the top 10. At the Vines at Perth and a couple of top 20s in Asia. It's been a little slow since then. Now, Porrick Harrington after that 8 at the 11th. He's parred his way to this point.
Very long off the tee now, Porrick Harrington. Solid up the right side of this fairway. Good tee shot to him, and it just, well, it was for a second a good tee shot. And again, the breeze, I think, is helping them, and a little from the right.
For Aaron Badley, finish, he hold that one for a par, round of 69. He's at 6 under. Bernhard Langer 73. He'll start tomorrow at 2 under.
Sorry, Carlson. Come here, well, it's wide and right, and awkward little pitch left from there. It is such a tough hole.
This is his 4th. It's a little clumsy.
It's very, as I say, the green's falling away from there, Stephen. If he's lying down, that he's got to give the ball a clip, otherwise he's not going to come out of there. He's staring. If he misses that, he's got 6.
So the pressure, maybe for some of the younger players, is starting to grip. Mistakes creeping in here and there.
A long one putt here for Stenson, the 13. 4th is birdie. I can't believe that playing partner Thomas Bjorn has been unable to birdie a hole so far this afternoon. A little more pace, and that was right in the middle.
In that range, though, that's okay.
No, that's fine. As I say, this is an awkward little green, this one.
New Zealand's Elliot Bolter, 77, dropping 2 shots at the 10th, and double bogey at 12 as well. And he was playing with Dean Robertson, and Robertson dropping shots at 16 and 18 for level par 72, which at one time promised to be a little better.
Now this for a 5 at a par 3, and boy oh boy do the shots go quickly. But there again, there's certain holes I think you shouldn't even go to pin. I honestly do. I think middle of the green, 15 feet right of the hole is just as close as 15 feet left, or 15 feet by or 15 feet short. But that bunker you got in there, you're always looking at 4 or something worse.
This is Mosley's 3rd shot at the 15th, which we saw before.
Obviously, like the spin he got the ball, let you look at it again.
Cabrera. Oh, he's struggled on this par 5 again.
Well, even though the breeze is into him now, he thought he had the power to get there and make 4. So these par 5s in the back line really hurt him yesterday, and have been disappointing once more. So, nicely done from where he was.
He scrambled his way around, and if he makes that, it's a 68. It's not perhaps the most convincing of 4 under par rounds, but the trouble is, it's difficult to do that 2 days running. So you will hope that Carlson improves his greens in regulation tomorrow.
Just might give him the confidence to get out there, just find a little something on the practice tee this evening or tomorrow morning, and come out and play well. And he's obviously putted quite nicely. Those 2 bunker shots, I won't forget in a hurry.
Carlson will have a putt to set the target in the clubhouse. At the moment, this tournament a little bit in the balance, because If he gets through 14, he's got 2 par 5s to come. We're talking about Henrik Stenson. And he's got the chance to take a 4, maybe even a 5-shot lead into the final round.
I think he has, and he's settled down magnificently now. It's a birdie putt at 14, another magnificent tee shot at the short hole. You wonder what went wrong at the 12th. Just a little one for a 2 at 7.
In between got his par at 13, so this to get to 6 under.
Well, it's good to see he's not letting bad mistakes phase him. He's fighting on. Caddy giving him a nice pat in the back. Well done. Good to see. Mosley now for birdie, and this would be pretty special after that tee shot. Again, beautifully, solidly hit, and it's in. Well done, I tell you. But it was a remarkable second.
Good putter. Match for anyone's always been and always will be.
It's one of the truisms of golf. Stenson, will he play this? Just a little right of the hole will be fine. Just a 7-iron for him. I think he started it right at it, didn't he? Well done. Oof, oof, oof. Scary moments.
I mean, they're fearless. They never seem to worry about anything, but you have to wonder if that was the best advised shot. I mean, I know he's got away with it, but he was half a yard from maybe slipping back, bouncing back into the bunker.
I'd rather see a little right of the hole. Gives you an uphill putt too. Almost looks like he started just right of the pin. Not too happy with himself at the moment.
Not on his A game, but even so, talking in terms of course management, that if you're going to the right, it's the worst it can finish.
Yeah, true.
But I suppose the standards are so high, maybe Stenson feeling good about his game, and he looked on top of it.
So, no, as I say, what's been impressive is I think a lot of people, as you mentioned early on, expected him possibly to fall away a little today, and he made that slow start, and he's pulled himself back together. And he's back in control. Good up and down again from Carlson. Back in this round. What happiness.
68 for his third round. And sets the target at 8 under. Best round of the week, 69, 71, 68.
And again he finds 15th green at 2. Just in the first cutter rough there. He's got the length down the breeze to get there, and nearly pitched it in the hole. Beautiful. Just had the one birdie, the rest bars. Listen, countless chances, hasn't he, for birdies?
That was coming back. By the time we get back, it might be a bit closer.
How good is he? Certainly's got the steam. Knock it on the fairway. Big tall man, 6'4". Long swing, and if he gets hold of it, it stays up in the air for half an hour.
Starting a little to the left, but fading back, beautifully controlled. It's a lot more run than we would have got on Thursday.
He can probably get up here with an iron. Jared Mosley, 16. Sneaky little par 4 this one. 413 yards. Green set well above the fairway. There's a bunker there. Bucky you see on your screen there's 270 from the tee. Normally drive 7-8 iron into the screen for the players.
We're up at the 18. Playing with Ola Carlson was Ian Woosnam, and playing second fiddle, Woozy. Round of 74 today, 2 under, and 6 behind the Swede.
This man hit a remarkable tee shot up the 18th yesterday, and then the most beautiful 9-iron. Seems ridiculous, and no more than 3 feet, and sadly didn't get it in. Thomas Bjorn chipping for 2.
There's the chip and putt of the last short hole, and he should do it again.
Actually, they did a Cannon Day at Royal Johannesburg in Kensington early this year, just after the Albert Dunning Challenge, and he was in charge of been instruction on chipping and so, and it's very simple, his method, and very, very effective. And I'm sure the people, if they paid attention, they learned a great deal from him.
The ice creams were right. I'm doing a Canada day myself on Monday with Barry Lane, Pauric Harrington, and Colin Montgomery down at Woburn.
Well, Beds.
It's a strawberry split, and you may be talking a little more than me in the coming moments.
That's okay. I had one of those yesterday, and it was very, very nice. Then you ducked off to your rugby club, and I have to wait till after the broadcast to get into it. Mary's had a pretty steady round today. Dropped a shot at the 4th, to birdies at the 2nd and 5th. And then another one followed at the 9th to be up to 34, and then bars all the way to 15. Good birdie there. So 3 under for this 3rd round. Stenson now for a 2 down the hill. It should come a little from his left.
Giving the ball a chance. One or two players that are struggling out there that we haven't seen too much of. Sven Struber, on the last playing with Cabrera, he's 2 over for the round. Russell Clayton just dropped the shot at 16, 2 over for his round, 3 under overall. Looking for a top 10, which will get him in next week. Retief, a par at 16, playing with Russell. He's 4 under, 1 over today. And Jose Ribeiro's rather slipped out of the picture. He's 1 under, but 4 over for today's round with 3 holes to play.
McGinley for an eagle 3. Has not hold a thing this afternoon, but played quite beautifully. Just to go to 9 under. Just for a change. Get in there. Well hold and wonderful eagle.
He'd be a very popular winner amongst the players and spectators and sponsors. Great friend of Eddie Jordan from Formula One. He was playing in the Pro-Am. I don't think he played with him. He might have played with Pauric Harrington, but Eddie plays a lot with Paul McGinley, and they go off on his yacht on occasions.
Well, that was a wonderful move to make, as I say. Sometimes you've got to be so patient, and who knows, he just might hold a couple more coming in. And that all of a sudden gives Mr. Stenson something to think about the next leaderboard he sees.
And the leaderboards around the Belfry pretty efficient. And on the continent, now and again they're a little slow to update. And I think Pauric was in Portugal, thought he was a couple ahead and didn't realise the move that Phil Price was making up ahead. That won't happen here, and McKinley's made a big move. Just 1 behind Stenson and 1 to the good against clubhouse leader Carlson.
And David Howe. Go on. Awful 6 last hole, the par 3. It's going so nicely, a couple under par, with 2 par times to come. And now running along at +1 for this round and back to 4 under for the tournament. It'll be lovely if the weather stays like this for tomorrow as well. It's mild breezes, sunshine, but I do believe there are threats that there may be a couple of showers tomorrow.
It'll stay fine Monday as well. And Tuesday. We might even get to play Tuesday.
Love to stay dry. And there again, beautiful sight. Devon Wood is now a beautiful tee shot at 15. And I feel he can get home here with an iron. And bunker on the right there, which is past it. It has got 236 to the front edge, so a bit less than that. Be a 3 iron. Since hit the ball from right to left through the air. And the ball is cut today. It just hung it out to dry. That is disappointing. Just the sort of holes you feel that he should take control of. He drove it into bunker at the par 5 third hole and just could knock it up the fairway. It's quite a nice pitch and couldn't make the birdie. Disappointing. 16th. No visitation there. Just 3 par 5s.
He's on the fairway.
Oh, the golf course. Of course, 3 par 3s. Now Stenson, can he find this fairway? You feel a birdie here and a birdie at 17 could put him in a commanding position. And it looks to me like a 3 wood or something a little less, one of those rescue clubs.
It's a wide stance.
Very wide stance. Wonderful rhythm. For the fairway, but it's bounced back nicely for him. Well, I tell you what, hitting that off the tee, and he's hit it miles down. Of course, the breeze is helping. I'd like to really see where that club was. Didn't it look like that to you, like a little rescue club? It's sort of iron with a back on it.
Yeah, baby face player. 25 gets to shave in a couple of weeks.
Like that.
Well, and that's way off. You can see him pointing right for Thomas Bjorn. So he is having a tough day. Good lane. And badly now. I mean, Jared Mosley. Big swing for him is right up this bank. He's done well.
Well, that's it after the last one going in. Long game's a little ragged, but short game's smartening up. From the middle tier, Cabrera, disappointingly a little short with his second.
Poetic justice if that one had gone in after missing a little one yesterday. But a good round from Cabrera. And he's got to be in the shake-up tomorrow, one would feel.
69 for the Argentinian, 7 under. Mosley remains at 8 under, 2 to play. Sven Struve playing with Cabrera, disappointing 75 today for the German. So he's 1 under, 9 behind the leader. Big move though has been made by Paul McKinley with the eagle at 15. I have to say Stenson should at the very least put his second onto the 15th green.
Well, you think he's got a big chance to do that. Okay, 17, Jared Mosley. Remember the bunker on the right. The breeze is hurting the players a little here. It's 280 yards to carry. Very sharp dog leg away to the right as the players play it. Just slipping through the fairway into the rough, and I doubt the green's in range from there.
The wind coming across here, isn't it? If they're playing them with the draw on, they're across that corner, aren't they? It's got windy in the morning.
There's Jose Ribeiro down in 39 and a birdie the second. He's had 5 bogeys since having dropped his shot at the 10th. He's made pars all the way since.
Dennis Harms left himself a bit of work here.
It's not really, it's 90%.
The 16th.
Not sure how to play. There's not much between he and Paul McGinley, who's found the fairway. It is the Irishman to play first.
Number 6 on there for Paul. Really good shot.
Here, I know that.
Tremendous tear in the screen.
He's on the right level.
He's
He
on
got
the
a
right
little
level,
nudge
yeah.
from the right, but it was a safe shot that he played.
It's got about 140, 150 50 yards possibly in the front of the green. And another 21 paces from that front edge. Probably 6 iron for him too. Or maybe jumped and then coming out of the rough and things go wrong. They can go awfully wrong.
Real fine. That was, you talked about the rough, and there you get these sort of underneath the grass, sort of flat pan lies, and you can really just choof.
You can jump out and it's very wispy. He needs a little bit of grass between the club face and the ball, and away she goes. Never seemed to work for me somehow. Remember Harry Weedman when he gave long driving exhibitions? He did it normally, and then he'd just pull up a tuft of grass and rub the grease on the face, and he did it a good 20 yards further. Of course, you can't do it. It's illegal. I mean, this happens. Bjorn now just knocking his second forward at 15.
Good way of illustrating the point, though, isn't it? So Bjorn struggling with his driving. Must be tough for David Howe. It's been the story of his season, perhaps the last 2 years, really. Good little runs, and then just have a little destructive spell, and all the hard work undone. Well, people taking these pictures all around the world, and we have people of all ages listening, from the very young.
Really, let's go and look at this man's bag tomorrow. I want to see what that club was he used down this tee. He did say his driving was his strongest feature, and it just makes you wonder that he backed off with that club. But 229, that's all that's left for him to the hole. Devon Wood is up ahead of him. I wonder what he's managed to do. He had to get a drop from that tower.
He may well have done it. Poor lad, he's playing on his own. He's going as fast as he can, but he's still holding up the pair behind.
That's what they once said. Morné du Plessis, captain South Africa's rugby side, and probably remember Narspoort at the fly half, and there was a big match between Northern Transvaal and Western Province, the Currie Cup many years ago, and Morné put rather a late tackle on Devon and on Narspoort, and the press gave him hell. He said, "Look, I got there as soon as I could."
No relation.
No relation. I've seen a couple of putts hold from this side of the green. Maybe just left edge.
Talking rugby, the other speaker last night was Mick Quinn, who used to be a fly half for Ireland, and I don't think he played that often. He said there is a video, 101 great tries, and he's on that video all over the place, missing a tackle here, missing a tackle there.
Yes, that's nice, isn't it? Anyway, that was great. I like the way Devon's going. He hasn't let the couple of mistakes phase him. That's his fourth birdie on this back line. So really disappointed with that double bogey at the 12th, par 3, that he probably didn't hit any more than a 6 iron.
He's got the iron. He puts this close. We've got to start taking this man seriously.
That's the correct posture. 6'1". A good strong swing.
Very seriously.
Better believe it. He believes it.
Maybe even with the sunglasses on, squinting into the sun, sitting down on that side of the course, not quite aware of how good a shot that was.
Thickish looking lie there. Is he going to try and sneak it between those bunkers? No, it's laying up short of that ditch. So it must have been a very poor lie.
There's enough breeze about to make it interesting. The trees over 30 years have grown. So occasionally you're sheltered and just having to try and work out if it's gusting or whatever. That's looking behind the 10th of the quite attractive tented village that runs parallel with the fairway.
It's certainly a little stronger than we went into our commentary booth.
The walk across the water at the 18th. That's Henrik Nystrom playing with Porrick Harrington. Pars at the 17th for both these two.
Well, hardly across the water was it, Steve? I think he didn't walk on the bridge, didn't he?
Put it from the bridge, but he's now walking quite close to the water, and I wonder if his second shot caught it. We shall see. 16th hole cost Russell Clayton another shot a moment or two ago. He slipped to 3 under.
Yeah, McGivney. Can he find another putt here at 16? I come a little from his right.
It's for a share of the lead.
Whoa.
That's a 33 on.
Mostly 3rd to 17.
So from that left spot we're looking at driver 302. You've got to go up there to get a chance.
At about 140 yards to the front edge from there. And the hole 33 paces back. So a fairly long shot.
These pictures provided by the BBC, and the really good news this week, if you've not been with us, is that working for them on course and in the commentary box is Mark James, happily on the way to full recovery from the battle he had with cancer over the winter. Looking very fit and in fine form out on the course today. He's working with his old buddy Ken Brown.
Well done. You'd like to see him miss that one. I mean, it was a good 4 feet by the hole.
And of course with Ken Brown and Mark James on the BBC, setting the standards worldwide for broadcasting. How on earth did they slip through the net?
The terrible twins. Great characters both. Stenson for an eagle 3. And I wonder. Little from his right. It's possible. No, he rather pulled it as he started it. But the birdie. And he goes to 11.
And the point you were making, if he does the same at 17,
Well, I think, as I say, I'm very impressed with the way he's handled it. Very poor start. Everybody, you know, feeling he might fall away, and he's come back since then. He's got back to under par. Played very, very solidly. And ever since that drop shot at the 4th.
yeah, there would have been no disgrace if he'd fallen away a little bit. Yeah. 72, 73, he was, well, he'd have learned a lot from it, but instead he's still there 1 under for the day. Gets him with a 70. 3 pluses all round.
Thomas with this one for a par 5. Well done. Let's hope that was a mistake too. No, it's not. The computer shows a 5. We saw him on the edge of the bunker and he just seemed to chop it forward. But what happened subsequently, we've just got to guess at.
And still seeking his first birdie of the day. Now whopping 7 shots behind his fellow competitor and leader Henrik Stenson. There's a view looking down from our high camera across the 18th. In the centre of your picture, the bunker, that's the one that catches your eye. If you run through the fairway, you're in there. You've got a shot of about 200 to 170 yards, depending where you are, across the water. It's a 3-tier green, the pin once again on the top tier, and it's one of the most famous views in golf.
Second shot into 16 for Devon Buertas. And he's also put up a fine stay up. Went a little too bold at the stick there, a little further right, and that could have finished quite close.
Where's he from in South Africa, Hutch?
He's a Pretoria boy. Pretoria. Capital city.
Sharon Mosley. This would be an outrageous fall.
He looks to have the same. What is it? No, that's just an iron he's got there. Is it the same one he uses? No, I don't think so.
No.
It's a 16. 413 yards to go. 260 to reach the bunker on the left. He's possibly helping a little on his back. It's a good bold swing. Very interesting his interview that he gave as well. He's feeling quite at home as we watch Thomas Bjorn at the 3 wood here at 16. He'd also apparently played a few tournaments on the European Tour as an amateur as well, and got several starts last year. So he said he is feeling reasonably comfortable. He'll feel a great deal more comfortable. He goes ahead and wins this one. Early days yet, mind you.
Takes all the pressure off, because exemption for the rest of this year and the next 2 years, and play where he wants when he wants. Because that might take the pressure off after tomorrow. It certainly piles it on during tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's what they play for. They want to be there come Sunday afternoon down the last 9 holes with a chance to win. That's what all these men are playing.
Mostly then to save his par at 17 to stay at 8 under. He got away with it. A bonus at the last par 5 and paying the price here. It was not the best of third shots.
Well, that's right. He's going to say he caught a lousy lie with a tee shot. Just slipped off the fairway. And it's like a 2-shot swing and it's got a line there. And the dangerous 18 still to come. So look at the 17th hole. It's a meanie there. You can see a straightaway drive down here, but if you want to cut the corner, and you have to, if you want to get this green in 280 to carry the bunker on the right.
Most of them seem to launch it over that bunk on the right and over those trees and bring the green within range, even though it's into wind.
Yeah, I know it's astonishing how far the ball is struck these days. But that's one of those spaceship type pictures, isn't it? You don't want to fall off the edge of that. There's nowhere to go. You'll just keep going.
Oh, you're right. You rarely miss a fairway. Struggle to reach one or two.
True.
Well, McGinley, I wonder if he's laying up.
Certainly is. Well, I didn't think he was far enough up to get there. So just try and lay it up to your favourite length of pitch run. There's no question the Powell is going to have a rip.
See how close Mosley was, probably a yard and a half at most from being in the same shape as Howell.
Exactly.
Can you
It's
just
this game all over there.
blend in with the crowd? Cheers, thank you. Thanks.
Those lines in quick.
They're just a bit confusing.
The driving distance. So he did it about 260, 270 according to that.
It's 564, so a long way for him to go. The wind hurt him. But again, those flags, a little, when we were watching them behind the tent there, on the 10th tee, we thought it's a little harder, but that is a great trip. Well done, Dave.
Robert Harrington finishing with a par at 18, 76 6, all the damage really done at the 11th with an 8th quadruple bogey. A drop shot for Henrik Nystrom, who we saw walking around the water and then looking back into the aqua, a 5 for a 71.
Thomas Bjorn from the rough on the right of 16. Awkward times.
Just looks to have lost
Right,
his
it's a
focus a little.
130-metre shot.
And collided with the old thermos flask. Kept him out of hot water.
That's the one guy. That's one guy who once told me, he said, well, that was the most famous invention of them all. He said, why? I said, well, look, he said, you put hot in, it keeps it hot. He said, you put cold in, it keeps it cold. So he said, what? He said, well, how do it know?
Two cups of coffee in the chocolate, is it right?
Yes, that's what the Irishman put him in. Stanson, 2nd to 16.
Left number 2 in places, upper or lower, it's the harder, but not for Stenson, he really is playing majestically.
Impressively majestic. Happy to report that Devon Wood has managed to 2-putt the 16th, going down the bank. And he find the 17 fairway and steal a birdie from there, just to keep it a little closer. 4-4 would be a wonderful finish for Devon and a very good round. After that double at 12.
115 to the pin for Paul McGinley.
Into the breeze. Anticipate this one going close. Not bad. So are you going to give him a Mr. 13, or are we going to count that as on the green? Then he wants to Mr. Green.
It's up to him, I mean, it's the Irish missed green, he missed one green, but not by much.
Robbo. Mosley. And he's taking on that water. That better have been hit right out the middle of the bat.
The brave one. Oh, but it must have gone left to right in the air then. He certainly started it far enough left.
He did.
It's been a beautiful afternoon, and the sponsors very generously for all of us involved, players, media, and supporters of the event. Big barbecue tonight at the hotel.
They've got the weather for a change. What do we call it back home?
Dry.
That's it. So you are a linguist.
Quite devious at times as well.
Devious,
So you may have to stay up to 9:30 tonight.
I'll do my best.
Greens in regulation for Paul McGinley, but they're saying 10 out of 12, so those who are watching didn't give him the one at 13. That's 10 out of 12.
Hairs.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
splitting
the
hairs.
jury's still out, because 10 out of 12, by my calculations, he played 16.
David Howell. Second shot again. Pretty chip one in for an eagle. He's the play. Go on. Good shot.
Pops that one in. Miles the last. 473 today, but he's run 6 fine times. That would take a lot of getting over. Actually, quite well to get away with the 5 at 16.
He's gone well through that green down the bank. Now Mosley. He's still got very close to 200 yards to go. Get at 18 from the sand.
So important. What advice would you be giving to the amateur playing this shot, apart from don't?
Well, I'd say, well, you have to be very, very sure of your game. Not quite. Oh, you see, that's exactly what could happen in the water. And unless you had a perfect lie, the bank was very close to him there. He only had about 150 yards to the front edge. But, I mean, it's still 47 paces on the green, that hole, so it's 200 yards to go. I'd have been inclined, unless the line was perfect, and you were very sure of your shot, knock it out short and then pitch it across the water and take your chances that way.
There he goes to get to 12 under.
Just outside left or maybe left edge at the most.
Aiming straight.
I'm surprised at that. Well, again, it's pressure.
With the experience, maybe when it gets a little twitch, go away, start again.
Well, probably, you know, if you've altered your routine, then you should get away and go back in the normal routine. That second shot should have been taken advantage of. But I'll tell you one thing, Steve, you didn't miss it on purpose.
No. Well, there is, I mean, he's two ahead, and he's left one or two out on the course. Now, everybody can say that, but
No, he
certainly his approach play, his iron play has been, and driving, both been in excellent first-class order.
Remember the second hole, he whipped his second shot in there, no more than 3 or 4 feet at the most to the right of the hole. He's had a couple of chances from close by. McGinley only hold the one putt that we've seen. This for birdie at 17.
Good pace on that. 74s for Russell Clayton and for Hutchinson. And a drop shot at the last for Hutchinson. That's how you, because he says for us Europeans that you can't say if you don't try and he would do something.
So it's very difficult for me to get that one out though.
Well, the problems continue for Mosley. He's into the water, establishing the point where he crossed the line of the hazard. He'd drop and he'd be playing 4. He'd go back as far as he wants. But, he'd be playing 4.
So that's a pity. You're out in a very positive 33 with 3 birdies. And dropped a shot at 10. So and then hit back with a 2 at 12. And dropped another one at a short 14. Birdie 15 in the most unlikely manner. And then rather a disappointing 6 at the last. And he's on his way to another 6 here, and that is not the way to finish.
A favourite story of ours, but was it the Benson Hedges where you had your free drop that you dropped unplayable?
Yes, it is too. At Fulford. Christ Torn Bushes is so getting a couple. And his old Commander O, he said, Hutchie, you are the worst dropper I've seen in professional golf. You may now drop for his shot. What happiest experience. Look at this. Can he get away with a 5?
Well, let's hope so.
There's your beaver out in the middle of that.
Let's look at that one.
So the golfers, I've enjoyed the golf this afternoon. It's seen some lovely shots and poor ones. Lovely afternoon. It's been great.
Although the scoring hasn't been sensational, the leaders have all been sort of keeping an eye on each other, and we haven't had the really big burst. Significant thing that of what we got, some 42 balls out there, and in the 11th 2 ball out, Romero's made a move with the 66. It's been the best move of the day.
The driver this time for Stenson to 17. Can he find the fairway? If he does, he can reach the green. Big wide stance. Wonderful turn. Give it a whip.
Right in the middle.
Stay there.
Turn right.
Stay there. Well, it's gone under.
Pull that shot.
6 inches away from being very good. And now he's probably laying up. Well, he is laying up.
Yeah, I think so.
He won't know exactly because it's a blind shot over the corner of the humps.
I think he might come out today tougher than when he went in. For McGinney, needs a 4 here for a round of 69. 35, eagle 15. Just had 1 birdie, 1 eagle, not a drop shot in the card. And missed a stack of putts. He just whips that driver out the same shape, same height every single time. Beautiful.
That's long. That is long. It's funny, a couple of years ago he was concerned that he lost an awful lot of length compared to other players, and he spent a lot of time trying out various drivers, and it wasn't the shape of the head. In the end, it was the shaft. Once he got the shaft that was right, the length returned.
Are you trying to tell me something?
No, I wasn't, but I mean, now you come to think of it, I mean, we tend to think, well, that looks good, feels like this way, but it's the shaft that the pros look for.
Always. And one good is. Not sure what shot this is. In the bunker. Third shot, but this is a few yards short of this 17th green. At the front edge. And he's had a bit of drama in bunkers of late. Remember, he skinned it out of a bunker at Leon last week and they got to take 6 to the par 3. He skinned it out of the bunker in the second round here yesterday at the 18th hole and took 6 for his round of 69. And this one has come out thin again too, and he's going to be working awfully hard to squeeze a 5 out of it. And that is very disappointing.
Working hard to squeeze a 5, in this case a bogey, at the 18th, Yarra Moseley. So 3 shots going in the last 2 holes, and he'll finish at 5 under. Probably won't sleep too long.
I'm sure he's going to be more than a little irritated. Looking at 6. Ouch. That's for level par.
Vamped in 1966. The 76 for the Spaniard who has found it a little tough for him today. He's at 1 under, shared 38, so an earlier start tomorrow. Yeah, this is really the most impressive performance has been from the leader, Stinson, in the way that he's kept going when others have struggled, and you have to look alongside him. And Thomas Bjorn, the way he's almost looks like some of that ice plant with him and Alistair there.
Certainly does, doesn't it? What we call the old fakies back home.
Well, here we go, 18. The bunker gets you right, and it's just a question of how much you want to cut off. If you're big, you can hit it over those trees on the left and get it running towards 300 yards, and your main problem then is the water running through the green. We've seen Enco Cabrera hit a long drive, and McGinley's drive was just as long, if not a little longer.
Yeah, he really got hold of this. No, I don't think not quite. Cabrera, I think it was just about exactly where that 300-yard mark is on our screen. Stable down. 190 to go. Drive. But yeah. Beginning.
121 to the front, and then 168 in total to the pin.
Probably a 6 iron here. Or a big 7 degrees might be helping just a little. And some is left.
Just a little chunky coming out of the semi. Just a touch heavy to the distance of it.
Wood is from the back of 17. That's played a little beauty.
good shot of the day. He had to land that just on the fringe. On the green, it's gone 8 feet past, short, and it's never going to make the putting surface. It's got it absolutely spot on.
So there's been a lonely old afternoon out there, all on his own, and I'm sure people wonder what's been going on. He's a very quiet chap.
Could have been worse. He shoots 59 and nobody to shake your hand.
Well, he's got his caddy there. Obviously, they seem to get on fine. To be there waiting, and I've no doubt that he's had to wait a tremendous amount this afternoon. So he should have somebody to play with tomorrow. Great 5 there, John. It's disappointing to see him in that bunker in 2.
Well, and John Euler will have someone to play with tomorrow. An even number. Because of Sam Torrance's misfortune. If you just joined us, he pulled out with a rib injury before teeing off today. Went tied third.
Has he taken on those 2 bunkers? Can he slip it through there? It's only ever you can down here. Well, no, that's all right. But that's the difference, because he definitely could have got home comfortably.
Yeah.
Thomas Gorham must have did a wonderful shot to get it to there. I mean, short of the bunk, he's still got about 170 to go, but what a shot out that lie he had. Oh, they say birdies come out of the bush.
Not all the birdies come out of the bush. Not to down the nest.
Are you there?
Must have taken some work.
So I think they weave, as they call them back home, and build a nest for their mate, and it takes them days and days and days working like a billiard. She comes along, doesn't fancy the nest, she just tears it down, he's got to start all over again. I think it's a tough old world for them too.
Just hope we don't have fireworks this evening to upset the local bird.
Yeah. I doubt it.
There's always been a good tournament for hospitality. Always marketed it well wherever it's been. And, a lot of entertaining going on overlooking the 18.
Well, we have a disappointing time out of the bunker at 14. Let's hope this proves a little more successful. They're never easy, the longish bunker shots. Now they're playing games out. It's 49 feet. How about that?
And dead straight.
It's where you want to bet.
It's all done by computer.
We're going to have to learn to use one of these days.
I got one. And it cracked in 2 weeks.
Well, crack the computer, crack how to use it. Settle down. The Guineas played so well this afternoon, it would be extremely disappointed if you were to drop a shot at the final hole.
We have an email address, don't we? We haven't given it out this week. We're on Steve Beddow at hotmail.com. Hotmail, yeah, Steve Beddow. All one word, lowercase, hotmail.com. Messages to me and Hutch. We're in Germany next week. Hutch is leaving this commentary box for the week. Going to speak to America.
There again for the Spencer, but we're lucky. Get through. We have Parky with you.
Kim Thomas.
Mike, what do we do now?
Parky was given the chance to decline. They all want to work with me, you know.
Oh, I'm not surprised. One Welshman to another then.
They seem to be enjoying themselves. And it's all credit to Thomas Bjorn. He's not had too much to smile about.
Certainly hasn't been.
Many stars here.
Just wondering how you're going to get round that. What's that? Twinkling. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
14 under, did so much of the good work. 4 under. Chances are he won't win tomorrow, but second top 10 in a row would be okay.
Most of it was pretty good, wasn't it? That triple bogey.
Yeah.
You just have to keep yourself under par when you're taking those. But our leader coming back to 17, down the hill for a birdie, and somebody didn't turn the phone off. Can't believe it. Yes, probably try and come a little from the right. Yeah, Henry serves. The other way, if anything. Good solid par 5. Just the difference, a couple of inches maybe. Right, you could have whipped it up here quite comfortably in 2.
First day that he hasn't birdied this 17.
And again you follow Howell in for his par 4. Just go around with 60. It's been very disappointing on the greens this afternoon for McGinley. Played quite beautifully. Had a real green if he saw that he missed the first one at 18. Left him a very awkward chip. Well played, and he's still within range with a good putting day tomorrow of figuring in the finish.
Yeah, just disappointing to drop your only shot of the day at the last hole. You need to make a putt or two tomorrow.
You'll have to. Uh-oh. Bunker at the 18, what it is. About a 6-iron he's got there. Lost him a double yesterday. Seems to have got onto it cleanly enough. Strong man. Ship kept his handle so well by Ollie Carlson, but good recovery from there. He's currently in joint 4th with Rafael Cabrera.
Still no birdie for Thomas Bjorn. Just looking at the leaderboard, Colin Montgomery at 3 under would need 65 or better tomorrow. 65 would be 10 under. 10 could be the number, the way the leaders struggled at times today.
It just shows the quality of the golf course, 10 under. It is not a bad total around this course. Just over the 7,100 yard mark. Probably not peak condition of the greens, although the players still popped in putts. But it is a very demanding layout.
No sense in the 11 under at the moment. Have a big say in that. Lotus down 7 under. Keeps his hopes alive.
Well, of course, if he can just stick in there and finish in the top 10, that would secure his card for next year. So he's lying 70th at the moment. It'll probably give him enough money, because this is a big money event.
Just to give you an eye as we look at 18th again, 71st I think Devon is, yeah, he's got £45,000. He probably needs about another 35,000 to keep his card. 80,000 probably just about the mark, so top 3 or 4 will get him very close to it.
Here's the club. Dad, just have a good look at this for me. This, I think this is the one he used. No, it's not. Or is it the one he used?
It may well be, but it's certainly,
It's a
certainly
3-wood.
driver, yeah.
It's a 3-wood. See the bunker? That's a 270 on the right. He's taking it straight over the water as well. Keep sailing. Raz.
Now stop. And it, again, so the 3 would the smart play really, because he knew he could have the distance and knew he could stop it going through into the bunker, which would make the second shot harder. Botus, in fact, look at the money, top 6, 7, and that's going to be target one achieved.
And again, he's played a nice little shot, just slipping a little by. But he's played some beautifully delicate little chip shots around the golf course this afternoon.
It's not just Colin Montgomery that's that might leap into the limelight. Darren Clark lurks there as well. We know that if he's on form, sky's the limit. Angel Jimenez also at 3 under. Patrick Sholan at 4 under. What 5G Milker Singh producing another round of his life. You never know. But Stenson looks very much in control at the moment. Tomorrow will be another day, but he asked no more. Walks off with a 4 and he's got a 3-shot lead overnight, which is what he had coming into the day.
Exactly.
So impressive. Romero, always dangerous. He's got this new driver, new golf ball, and he just hits it out of the county. And Cabrera likewise. Was Aaron Badley. We'll see a little bit of him tomorrow. Thomas Bjorn's had one of those days. It'd be ironic if he could finish with a birdie on the toughest hole of the course.
Just in the edge of that. Okay, come on, Devon. Inside left, tops. Yeah, always going to be awkward to get it down on 2 from there, but very disappointing. He's stuck in there very nice. He went to 72 for. Devon thinks it's all his own way, a double of 12. And it was a gutsy round, playing all by himself.
Share a 5th round with Romero and Badley. And he may find himself playing with Philip Price tomorrow. At the moment it looks like Stenson, Carlson, Hindley with Cabrera, Romero with Badley. It just shows you how important Romero's round of the day, 66, has proved to be. Just the 1-2 ball out on the course. One more good swing required for Rick Stenson.
Made any bad ones just lately.
Of course, playing in 2 balls means that we're nearly to the end of our action. So if you're watching around the world, just be aware, be prepared that we may be slipping away to the barbecue or the bride a little earlier. The action finishes. When people haven't been quite so many rulings, hasn't slowed down. Last week was very slow because they were placing, there was casual water all around place and all adds to the time the players take to get around. This has been reasonably straightforward.
They started at 10 to 2. And looked like finishing at the worst at about 10 to 6. They're just on, what's it, 4 hours?
Just under 4 hours, which it's not quick. But they have been slower.
Definitely. They're starting to green up nicely, all the different greens you see over here. It's fantastic. This should be a picture come September time.
It'll be a bit noisier. Maybe a bit of dust kicked up, all the crowd are getting round. But that gives us hell out. At this dinner last night, people said, "Can you get me tickets?" I don't think so.
Good job. Takes all the water right out of the picture, doesn't it? Good 50-60 yard stretch of water there. Wonderful tee shot, I doubt he's got any more than a 6 iron there. Don't tell me that phone's going again. You say that's hurting slightly? That's the way that
Hurting
arrow's
slightly,
pointing? Yeah.
slightly. More to one direction is not so important, it's just if it's gusting a little bit.
Well, that'll be a little more than a 6 inch, but good strong 5 iron, I think maybe.
Maybe 4.
Yeah, possibly. With that shaft gives you an idea. Could be 4.
Hour and 9 now. Very high. caddy there is Grant, who for many years was on the bag of Russell Clayton. Experienced caddy, good man to have on the bag in these circumstances. Been a winner before with the Cambridgeshire man.
Thomas Bjorn. Another very nice lie there for Thomas Bjorn here. He's got it on the green in the middle terrace, that shot.
I have a feeling that Stenson is on the lower tier, but I will be putting.
I saw somebody going past the hole, but I really didn't expect this round from Thomas Bjorn today, even though his own admission. He matched, or lacked a little match practice.
Well, people were saying last night, who do you think will win at the Belfry? Who's the class act on the leaderboard at the moment is Thomas Bjorn. See the way that he handled all the pressure 4 days playing with Tiger and beating Tiger in Dubai, but all credit to Henrik Stenson. Warm applause coming his way, and he deserves every bit of it.
He certainly will. I've got a feeling I've been very impressed with how he's handled himself. Obviously, I don't know too much about him, but what he's done this afternoon has been exemplary. And I've got a feeling that somebody is going to have to play very, very well to touch him off. The way he's handled today, I think he'll do the same with any reasonable fortune once again tomorrow. Run the show for Dunlops when I used to play in the tournaments over here, and he's very involved in running this event. It's one of his events that he runs over here, and he's done a great job. It's always very efficient. Well, I hardly recognise him. I haven't seen him for ages.
You recognise you?
He recognised me.
Well, the sponsor have an impressive portfolio. They're involved in Formula One, snooker all around the world as well, and of course golf. And such is government legislation that this tournament has a couple of years more to run, then will be no more. And I know there are moral arguments and don't want to get involved in that. It will just be a pity that for whatever reason this tournament will be off the schedule. It's been one of the most stylish and best run throughout the years.
Right, it's an awkward little chip. He's going downhill to the hole. A little closer, slightly easier chip provided the lies one than the one Devon Wood has handled. It wasn't great looking down to Molly Castle from further back. The ball looks a little down to me. Oh, nicely played. This could go in. No, not quite. Well done. Very impressive display.
He can take a lot of positives out of the round and into tomorrow, not least the fact that he made a rather ragged start today and came through it, came out of it. And it's going to be harder tomorrow, it has to be. It's part of becoming a top professional golfer, but you can do a little more than you did today.
I agree with you more, but let's say 2 over after 4, then made a nice par 5, and then beautiful second into 6 and missed it. And then not the greatest shot to the short hold at 30 footer for 2, and from since then he has not made a mistake. Played quite beautifully.
Computers in the green side camera giving us those distances. So 43 feet, so around about 10 metres, 10, 11 metres.
last round. He played without making a birdie. He wouldn't think it was possible. And this is hardly dead. Sort of, it's one of those you've got to sort of be inside left and firm with.
But I guess if he gets a couple of early successes, who knows, they're so strong mentally.
Well, here's another one can go very low. Remember, he brought it back in 31 in the first round, out in 38. Dropping shots at 8 and 9, brought it home at 31 with a missed putt on 10 for a birdie. But Stenson, 3 shots ahead yesterday, and if this goes in, still in the same position.
Season on tour, first time he's been under real pressure, and he's come through with honours.
Certainly has. And just so you remember, but watching the little movement he made in the 16th when he missed that birdie opportunity, it's obviously part of his routine.
Yeah.
I remember Kel Nagel used to shuffle the putter into the ball and put it behind, and there was no better putter than old Kel. And I hope he's well. We did see him watching that World Match play earlier in the year. It was lovely to see Kel.
He was down at the lakes watching the Greg Norman. Because,
it was one of them I saw him at.
I remember he used to have a set in these woods. Woods. Someone suggested that the last set I paid for.
A bit unkind.
Anyway, Henrik Stenson, terrific day. He'd enjoy that. He went into the day with a 3-shot lead. I suspect he may be expecting to come out with that lead intact, but it has. Paul McGinley has made a good move on a day of, not indifference scoring, that's totally wrong, but a day where scores have been hard earned. Anything under par has been a good effort. That's why 67 from Phil Price has moved him into the top 10. David Howe slipping back, disappointing day for Thomas Bjorn, but still much to play for. Stenson did no wrong, and maybe starts his favourite tomorrow as a result of how he's coped. The pressure will be tenfold tomorrow, and there are a lot of good players, Richard Goosen, Colin Montgomery, Darren Clark, the likes, who are poised to come through, and even Bernhard Langer, who's not unknown that he's produced really low final rounds on very good golf courses. He and Ola Tharbel will be hoping for plenty of Ryder Cup points. So a beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon, when elsewhere 1 or 2 have been involved in the football, but the golf, I hope, has kept you entertained wherever you are in the world. I hope you'll be joining us tomorrow for the final round of this B&H International Open. Everything set up. Could it be the young man surprising all the pundits, surprising perhaps his fellow players? Henrik Stenson stands on the verge of a breakthrough into big-time golf, or will the likes of McGinley and Romero fall badly, hunt him down? Well, we're off for our supper as he is, and hope you can join us tomorrow. Until then, from Dennis Hutchinson and from me, Steve Beddow from England, cheerio.